Good morning. I thought I'll share with you my views and BJP stand on Amartya Sen's comments recently on Shri Modi ji. Now, BJP respects anyone who is endowed with Bharat Ratna, and of course, all Indians do respect someone who has the capability to earn a Nobel Prize. The Nobel Prize is a great honor, and as an economist, Amartya Sen ji is a very popular and very capable, highly capable economist, and world renowned. There's no question about it. However, where BJP has an issue with his statement is that how sincere he is when he's making a statement, especially with the honor of Nobel Prize laureate and also Bharat Ratna awardee. Because it should not be political, because he is not a politician and he is an honorable man. So somebody who is honorable must also be objective. If not wanting to be objective, if wanting to be subjective, then he should clearly say that this statement is political and doesn't come with my expertise in economics. This is what I personally believe, and also BJP, the reason why there were some heated arguments, and when Chandan Mitra also has spoken out, despite the fact he has retracted his statement. Certainly, Bharatiya Janata Party felt the snide as unwelcoming and also unworthy of a great individual like Amartya Sen ji. I have few questions for Amartya Sen ji for having made that kind of statement. And I will also reiterate what kind of statement he made. Number one, he said that Gujarat model of development, economic development, doesn't suit for India, and thereby it leads to failure. And there's nothing great about Gujarat model of development. That's one. And the second thing he talked about is Modi ji is not secular. Thereby he cannot be a leader of the nation or a prime ministerial candidate. And the third point he said is that he won't vote for Narendra Modi as a prime minister if he were to vote. And the fourth one, of course, is something more sweeping when he talks about his lack of understanding of Rahul Gandhi as a leader. Now, my question to him is, as an economist, if you're speaking, number one, you should have made some assessment of the free fall which the economy right now is in, instead of making an assessment and a comment on the current free fall of the economy and the lack of revival plans and the fall of the rupee, the inflation of both the price indexes and the abnormal price rise to the level of sometimes 300-400% in the last 2-3 years, especially, particularly, and in the last 10 to 11 years in general, as to why this kind of a price rise happened and how can the government, currently the UPA2 government, can control this particular inflationary price rise. Instead of making comments on the current situation, he has gone into talking about speculative aspects. And another part is Gujarat is just a state. It's not. It's an independent state being run by a chief minister with BJP party elected in that particular state by the people of that particular state. So the credentials of secularism has to be not national currently, for sure. It will come up in the elections now. But the secular credentials have been proven without doubt, not just once but 3 times in Gujarat. So Amartya Sen ji is also making a remark on the constitutional and the electoral opinionation and the decision made by the Gujarat people. So you should be a little more careful when you do at your stature. When somebody makes that statement, you should be pretty cautious, because you're actually what are you calling the people who have voted him to power? That they do not know, or they're foolish to understand his secular credentials, and you as an economist understand secular credentials more than him, or more than the people who are living in his rule, under his rule in the last 3 years of a democratic rule. So it needs to be given a thought, Mr. Amartya Sen, that we have a constitution, we are a democracy, and the only way to assess anybody's capability to lead is by understanding the mandate of the people of that particular region. and they have voted him time and again, proving that they approve of his credentials, both as a secular leader and as a developmental leader. So the case rests right there. Nobody needs any certification from an individual regarding that, number one. Now, talking of secular credentials for India, that will be proven in the elections which are going to come. And of course, you can make a personal remark. You have a right to make a personal remark from subjective perspective. But please do not connect that to economy and authenticate it because you are an economy professional. So that's where the reservation of BJP is, that you are trying to hide behind the mask of an economic specialist or economist and then make remarks which are not connected to your subject. Now that's where the problem lies. Now let's come to Rahul Gandhi issue. If you are an individual who has Indian origin and living abroad and you want to make a political statement, then you better be a little bit more aware than just knowing about Narendra Modi ji. If you have no idea of Rahul Gandhi's credentials as a Prime Minister, how are you making a sweeping remark on or devastating and damaging comments on Narendra Modi ji? If you have so much of information on Narendra Modi ji, how come you're not? Why is it so selective? Why don't you have any information on Rahul Gandhi? So it goes to show your partisan and a little bit of a political statement which you have made, which Indians who respect you and even young people who are probably pursuing economics who look up to you, or many of the young Indians who look up to you as a Nobel laureate and also a Bharat Ratna, they were amazed at the statement which you made. And obviously BJP is, apart from being surprised, is also wondering as to what is the motivation behind this particular statement. We leave it there. So my request to Amartya Sen ji, if he is listening to this video, is sir, let's stick to what we're good at and let's contain our personalized and subjective statements, especially when we are not fully aware of the situation at the ground level. And if you are trying to make that kind of political statement, or if you are trying to make that, then make that on both sides. I mean, at least make a comment on what do you feel about the Prime Ministerial candidature of Rahul Gandhi ji. Just don't say that I don't know much about Rahul Gandhi's candidature and then make a big comment on Narendra Modi ji, which doesn't go very well. So that's about it. This is what I wanted to share with you. But apart from that, the point which you made about the economy not being sustainable in Gujarat is also once again showcases the lack of understanding of the Gujarat economic model. You might be a great economist overall, the macroeconomic scenario, but please understand that any state or a country, when it drives economics on a macro level, it also has a micro level chunking. Now, and also it has a socio-cultural and a historic perspective of how you develop your economy locally. So it might not fit into the economic models which you propagate in Harvard or Stanford or in US or even for India like countries at the country national level. But when it comes to a state, then you have to look at the historic perspective and you have to look at the local cultural and social factors when we are drawing economic models. I think he is following, as much as I can analyze as a layman, that he is following a model of economic pull in terms of he is following a chunking model where he is branding the state and creating a policy driven environment for attracting investments in one sector, especially industry. And eventually, as phase wise, once you start getting investments and thereby employment and thereby taxes and thereby growth industrially, that investment outcomes, the profits or the returns or the inflows or the loans because of your increased investments into your state can be routed to other sectors like agriculture, like socio-economic development indicators like nutrition and education and medical and infrastructure. So it cannot be done at all at once. You cannot say that he has to do a completely equal distribution of economic growth, which is not possible anywhere. I think even in Andhra Pradesh, Chandrababu Naidu tried to do a similar model years back. It backfired because he couldn't promote it to make the farmers and agriculture sector understand that the next level of investments will be made in agriculture sector. But Gujarat, under the leadership of Narendra Modi ji, has clearly explained and communicated very well, repeatedly, to its constituents that there is nothing to panic. Industrial growth subsequently will lead to agriculture and social and cultural and a univocal growth which will balance itself to reach the entire gamut of the society. And the Gujarat people have bought it. Gujarat people have understood the concept of chunking growth, chunking model, and they understand that Narendra Modi ji has a sincerity to keep investing into different sectors as and when the investments are possible, and thereby give a balanced economic growth to the entire state of Gujarat, which currently is happening. So for those who came in late and who say that Gujarat is already a developed state and what Narendra Modi ji is doing is just giving a catalysis or he's acting like a catalyst, my question to all of you cynics is it easy to be a catalyst in the kind of a country we are in? What kind of a barriers do we have to be even a change catalyst in this country? So what he's doing is an amazing work. No matter people outside his state certify or not in a democracy, if the people of Gujarat has certified it and approved it, that's the game. That's how it works. That's democracy. So I hope the arguments still continue, because the more snides you take on him, the more he'll rise. So that's what happens to great leaders is you keep attacking them and they become more popular. So go ahead, go make more statements, go make more fleeting statements on Narendra Modi ji, help him to become Prime Minister of India. And thank you very much for listening.